So loading, same as a standard AR, mag in, seat it, make sure it's in, side charger, charge the gun, you're ready to rock and roll.
Welcome back to Wiseman Company, everybody. I'm Ben.
And I'm Noah.
Today we're going to be going over a new gun that we picked up recently from Catawba Valley Armory. It's a 9mm AR-15. A lot of you have probably seen it on our IG feed. Today we're going to tell you a little bit about it.
Yeah, Tommy down at Catawba Valley Armory did a fantastic job on this for us. He built this on one of the New Frontier AR-9 lowers. New Frontier is out of Las Vegas, Nevada. And they are doing fantastic stuff. This, one of the things that a lot of people complain about with the AR-9 platform is the bolt hold open, and with this lower, it does have a bolt hold open option, which is fantastic, and it works great. Really like the lower and the upper. They match great, they go together. The controls here on the AR-9, they are, for the most part, the fire controls are identical to your standard AR-15 platform, AR-10 platform, standard safety switch, standard bolt release, and standard magazine release. So all of that is standard. The only
Very similar feel for you guys that are wondering if it's going to be a problem transitioning over.
Yeah, in fact, the grips are just standard AR-15 grips. You can interchange those. You can do all that. So all that's available. It's a standard fire control group. And so everything for the most part is the same. The one major difference is that we went with a side charging handle on this rather than the rear bolt charger like you have on an AR-15.
Yeah, that was just a personal preference of ours, and that has a lot more to do with the upper, just something we wanted to try. It also distinguishes the gun from all the rest of the AR-15 pistols we have. This lower is Glock compatible, so it uses Glock magazines, and it runs Glock magazines phenomenally. ETS, OEM, mag pulls, you name it. We ran mags with base pads as well. All worked. Bolt held open on the last round. We did full metal jackets, 115s, 124s. We did 147 grain defensive spear dots.
Spear gold dots.
Spear gold dots, yeah. They were ran great. I know in the past a lot of folks have run into issues, or their 9mm lowers were kind of finicky, especially with those Colt mags. Depending on where you source those from, they may or may not work. But so far, this has run great for us.
Yeah, I mean, minimal hiccups, and most of those attributed to things outside of the gun's control itself. A spring issue, I think, on one of the magazines for the last round with, because the 9mm platform doesn't really have a feed ramp per se, like you do on a standard AR. The hollow points can have a tendency to sort of hit, and so if the spring doesn't have enough lift on the round, it doesn't get it up into the chamber. And on one of the mags that we were running a base pad, the springs are a little bit stretched out at that point, didn't have quite enough lift on that final round with a hollow point. Then we did have a little malfunction there. Other than that, really everything ran fantastic for us.
I'm going to go over some of the specs of what we got on this gun real quick, some of the items that we wanted to add on it. Starting at the rear, we have, of course, a KAK Shockwave brace with their tube, which is great because everyone knows it has the detents in it, so you can set your length of pull, which is nice. Noah mentioned our upper is a side charger, which is great. A little bit different for us. If you don't want to go to that bolt release on the side of your New Frontier lower, you can just simply reach up, give it a little tug on the side charger, and you're back in business.
And one of the reasons too that we went with the side charger is also because it's sort of an homage, if you will, to the classic side charging 9mm subguns that are out there. You know, the H&Ks, things like that. They're all side chargers, so we decided to go with that for our 9mm build.
Yeah, it was just kind of a fun thing to do. But moving forward, we're running a 7 MOA dot RMR on top of American Defense mount, which is phenomenal, sturdy. The big dot in this RMR is great for pistol calibers. We didn't stretch out super far with this, but we definitely could if we wanted to. The RMR is on all the time because it runs off light. It doesn't have any batteries, which is another plus in my mind. We got a Geisley Mark IV rail. This is their 7-inch rail, and it's covering the 7.5-inch 9mm barrel. And up front, we have an Inforce WML. This is the 250 lumen, I believe, the older one. But just an awesome little gun, very nimble, very compact. You can stick this in a backpack, of course, a toolbox, you name it. It's just a really, really handy gun. And let's get into some of those reasons on why you might want a build like this.
Yeah, we do get asked that, why a pistol caliber build versus a rifle caliber build. And honestly, there is no necessarily right reason to do this. Number one, it is a fun gun. Number two, it is a little less expensive to shoot as far as ammunition is involved. On the other hand, these are still a little pricey to get built. You're still looking in the price range of probably, to get it done correctly, $1,300 to $1,500. You might be able to cut some corners, not get as nice of a rail, those kinds of things, and get it under $1,000, but still it's a little bit more pricey than doing an AR pistol build. One of the places where I really see it shining is the same place that nearly all 9mm subguns have shined, and that is in protective detail, security. And one of the reasons that this is such a great platform with the Glock magazines is because so many of those guys run Glock handguns. Now you have the capability of having your sidearm as well as a longer barrel with more points of contact for when things go kind of south. You can run Glock 26 mags, you can run Glock's 19 mags, 17 mags, and Glock 18 mags. They all work in it. It also makes it great if you're in one of those non-free states that tend to lean more towards communism, where you have 10-round, 7-round magazine restrictions. You already have the mags with your Glock 26 or your Glock 19 10-rounders, and it works great with them. So that's really where I think that this is ideal.
Yeah, compatibility by far is the best asset this kind of build has. Is like we were talking about price point a little bit. You're still gonna have to pay, that $1,300 to $1,500 range for great components. It's worth it, so do it. But you're gonna save on the money end. Compatibility is great. Distance shots with a pistol caliber, much easier to make with this.
You're getting a slight increase in velocity out of that extra 2.5 inches, even over, say, like a Glock 34 with the 5.25-inch barrel, getting about 2.5 inches more. It does give a little bit more velocity. We were shooting rifle rated paddles on the rifle dueling tree today and flipping them for the most part without any problem.
Yeah, the TAT rifle dueling tree is obviously it's a rifle dueling tree, so the paddles are much more significant. Nice. With a handgun like your typical Glock 19 or 17, it doesn't always flip those paddles.
And it's a little bit more lackadaisical when they do flip. Yep. And with this, it flipped them solidly, like as if it was pistols on a pistol dueling tree.
Yeah, I'm sure if we backed up further and further, that would decrease it a little bit, but you could definitely tell you're getting a lot more velocity out of this than you would with your 4.25-inch barrel, 5.25-inch barrel.
Now, one thing that I will say with that velocity, it's a 9mm, it's a larger bullet, and there may be some concerns with penetration, those kinds of things for home defense. And stay tuned, we are going to be doing a really cool caliber ballistics testing that we're going to be doing some comparison with the 9mm pistol, the 5.56 pistol, and the 300 blackout pistol. So that will be coming, so you'll want to check that out.
Yeah, you guys will be able to get some really solid data of what might interest you or what you might want for your own home defense out of the experiment we're going to conduct. So stay tuned for that, definitely. So was the transition going right from a 5.56 pistol to a 9mm pistol, was that a hard transition for you to get it to work and function for you?
It really wasn't that big of a transition. There's a couple of things that are different on this that the way I run my ARs, the hand grip on this is the mag pull. A lot of people like those. My hands are little, so I run a very specific pistol grip. on all of my ARs. And this is a little bit larger, and so it was a little bit different feel for me. The trigger is a little bit different. Obviously, I'm running CMC and velocity in my other builds, so going back to a more mil-spec, but I will say that it was very crisp, very clean, and it's a little bit wider than a standard mil-spec trigger, so I did like that. It took a little bit of getting used to the side charger, not a lot. That I adapted to relatively quickly. The only other thing is that the mag release button on this is a little bit further forward than it is on my AR-15s.
Yeah, I agree. All right, guys, so this is our 9mm AR build. If you've been thinking about doing it, definitely look into it. It's a fun gun to shoot, if nothing else. And I'm sure you could roll it into a defensive area in your life in some shape or form. Go contact Tommy at Catawba Valley Army if you really are interested. I mean, he does great work. We'll, of course, put his link below.
Absolutely. Love this gun. It was a lot of fun to shoot. Looking forward to it. In fact, I believe my wife is actually stealing this from me, and she's going to be utilizing this. So that's another great option for you out there. So thanks for joining us. If this is your first time with us, we really appreciate you sticking with us all the way to the end. Take a moment, hit that subscribe button below. We really appreciate it. It means a lot to us, and it's important to help keep these videos coming.
Absolutely, guys. Feel free to check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and of course share this video with your buddies and hit that like button.
Yeah, and please leave your comments below. Let us know about your 9mm build or what your thoughts are or any questions that you might have. Remember, here at Wise Men Company, we're all about being prepared, being armed, being informed, and being involved. So get out there, do something, and make a difference.
All right, guys. See you on the next video.
See ya.